What is going on, all you crazy rockers? This is Seebass from Rockin with Seebass, and holy cow, it has been one crazy week. Last week I did a little interview with the bass player of the local band of Middletown known as the Wonderlands. Special shout out to Adam Steele. Thank you for being on the show, brother. That was really good. A lot of good questions and a lot of good answers from you. Good inspiration, and I tell you to keep on going, and hopefully you get back to do some more live shows soon. But also, I did a Rat episode, and that was a really good episode. I think it went really well, so I invite all of you guys to check that out on my Facebook page, known as Rockin' with Seabass. Also, a special shout out to That Arena Rock Show, the podcast. We're going to do another one this Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I can't tell you a lot of what we're going to do on this one, but it's going to be good. So I invite you all to really check it out. Now, on a sad news, the Scorpions have been rescheduled for 2022, April 7th. Yes, 2022. I got to wait. I was going to go see them in Las Vegas, but nope, that's not happening. But if you did buy a ticket, hang on to it, because I know it'll be worth it. Trust me. Well, and that's pretty much all I got. Now, there is a certain person that I really have on this show. I can't wait to have him on here. His name is T-Bone from That Arena Rock Show. And he's probably sitting there like, come on, I'm waiting for you. Come on, get over here, Seabass. Well, here he comes, Mr. T-Bone. Hello.
No. What's up? I got you.
Oh, whoa, hey. Whoa, hey.
You're with the spotlight, right?
Oh.
Yes, indeed.
That was very beautiful. Where'd you get that?
Indeed.
Where'd you get that?
We call that Lowe's Home Improvement. That's where we got it, I think. I don't know. Maybe. What?
Whoa. Well,
How
what
you
have you been? I'm doing great, man. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I can't say everything on the air. No. So, what have I been doing lately? So this morning, right, I had my daily crumpets, had my tea. I told him a little bit, to ease off the sugar a little bit because I'm working on my figure, it's just kind of one of those things, right? But anyways, got me some tea and some water like I do here so I can stay hydrated. Yes, indeed. No, living life as always, partying it up every weekend and every day because we rock and roll all night and party every day. That's what we do. And on top of that, we've been working on material for our shows. Yes, we are. Did you hear that? We're working on our show. Yes, indeed. How about you?
Well, like I told you before, I've been doing a lot of episodes on my podcast, like Rockin' with Seabass with the episode of Rat. Great episode. I totally invite you to hopefully listen to that because I know you'll like it because I know you're a big Rat fan, I believe.
Yes, you are right on that one. I do like Rat. What's that song they got? Everyone loves Round and Round. Oh, what's your favorite? I want to know what your favorite is.
My favorite is probably either Body Talk or Lay It Down.
Lay It Down. Hands down is my favorite. I love Lay It Down.
Yes, great album. Probably one of my favorite albums by that band.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. The riffs are absolutely amazing.
Oh, yes. Robin Crosby and Warren D. Martini. Probably one of the most underrated guitar players of that, century. And gosh, they did such amazing riffs. A lot of good job.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of martinis, anybody got a martini around here? Anybody?
No?
Come on.
I don't have a martini, but I may have something for you. Hopefully you can get this.
Okay.
I got cookies.
I do not. Hand them here.
Here, take it.
Cookie.
Take the cookies. Come on.
Throw them.
I can't open. Gotta get here. Take it.
I missed it. I dropped it. I'm not getting it off the field.
I guess you can go to my house if you want some. Sorry.
All right. I'll have to fly there. Anyways.
Well, you know where I live. Well, anyway, man, it's so good to have you on the show. I'm glad that you're able to take some time to do this. I have so many questions for you. A lot of things about the band, yourself, and just how you became such a big icon in the United States, or should I say Ohio?
the United States and international. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Seebass
yeah,
is household
international.
name. Get it right.
Oh, yes. Well, well, you see, here's one question I really have for you, because you are
Right.
an amazing singer. I think so. When
Thank
and
you.
where did you learn to sing?
All right. That is a phenomenal question. And I just want to say thank you for having me on today. I greatly appreciate it. We appreciate you, and especially doing streams with you. We absolutely love it. You're an awesome guy, and appreciate you for having me on today.
Oh, yes.
So, to answer your question, if you will, I was a wee young lad living in Liverpool, perhaps, and I grew up in a private school. Yes, little did you know, I grew up in private school, and we would always do things like choir stuff.
Mm.
Yes, of course. I played in the band, the school band, if you will. Good times, associating with many different people. I would always sing this choir stuff, and yes, it was fun, but it was not screaming your heart out. Like, I knew I had something to where I could project my voice more, and I just didn't think the choir music was, well, at the time, was what I really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do different types of music. So I get to the ripe age of about 15, right? 15, 16, somewhere in there. I came across, well, back up a little bit, 12 or 13, I came across a lot of rock music. I listened to country music strictly, pretty much, for 13 years straight. I'm obsessed with it. Love it. Little known fact there. And I got introduced to like this band named Van Halen. And my father said, see this band right here? It was Hot for Teacher. It was Hot for
Mm.
Teacher. It's like, this is Van Halen.
Good
I
song.
was hooked from the start, and Van Halen, to this day, is my favorite rock and roll entertainment band. To this day. So, speed forward back to the 15 years. When I was 15 years old, I came across this artist called Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio, and especially his solo career, but especially that one song in his Black Sabbath era that is just the quintessential masterpiece of his career, I think, is Heaven and Hell.
Oh, yes, agree.
I played that song on YouTube so much, and I screamed my lungs out as much as I could until I nailed those notes.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started hitting some of those notes, I wasn't perfect. Wasn't perfect at the time. I still work on it from time to time. I kept working with that. I came across this band called Quiet Riot.
Oh.
Quiet Riot. I had already prepped up my vocal cords for within that range of music. So I was like, you know what? Let's bump it up a couple notches higher. Let's take it to 11, all right? Took it to 11. And then I started working on those notes and really hit the notes for Quiet Riot.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But that's self-teaching, if you will.
Right. I mean, it's always good to self-teach sometimes. I mean, yeah, it's good to have vocal lessons, but when you teach yourself in some sort of ways, you can actually kind of get into the style of music that you want, and not just being taught by some random teacher telling you that you have to sing this style first and this style only or something.
Absolutely. No, I have absolutely nothing against vocal lessons. I still think it's a phenomenal idea.
Oh, yeah.
I, however, have not had any. But and that's not a flex on anybody. I actually encourage people to pursue things like that if they want a career in music, so to speak. I think it's a phenomenal idea, and I think everyone should pursue it if they're going towards that line. I just, however, have not found that time yet. Busy life, am I right?
Hey, well, hopefully we can find the time, especially with the big band that you are in right now, known as That Arena Rock Show. When you got into that band, That Arena Rock Show, did you have like a good feeling that it would take off really fast?
Yes. So to expand on that, to give a little background on where I came up to that point with That Arena Rock Show, and actually we put together that band. When I was 15 and stuff, I was, discovering my voice, discovering music and everything. It wasn't until I was about out of college that I actually started, attending more live music. I had seen concerts over the years, but I started attending more and more. eventually, I found the right people. Um, I believe I was singing up at a bar one night, doing karaoke, because I've mentioned this before. I used to do a lot of karaoke, and I still do to this day, just for fun. I did a lot of karaoke and singing, especially in the bar, just for fun. I came across this phenomenal musician in our area, and if you have not checked him out, be sure to check him out. He's phenomenal, and I thank him exponentially for helping introduce me to the music business. So that would be Mick Blankenship. Mick Blankenship, he's like, dude, you could sing some Twisted Sister. He puts posts out there on Facebook and starts sharing stuff. Sure enough, I start going to their concerts, their STP2 shows they used to do in that, or they still do. Actually, they're doing one at JD Legends.
I heard about that, yes.
And I started attending their shows, and their guitarist, Mr. Nicky Starr, along his guitar picks, of course, he wasn't Mr. Nicky Starr in his show, in their show, so to speak. He flicked out some guitar picks. I picked it up, saw his name. I was like, you know what? I'm going to add him on Facebook. Because I was already friends with Mr. Blankenship on Facebook. Added him on Facebook. Started going to more of his concerts. And I met up with the band after a show. And he's like, hey, you that guy who sings Zeppelin? I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me. And he's like, dude, you know, check out some 80s stuff something. Go over, do a couple songs. And he's like, oh, you ready to start this band? I'm like, let's do it. At that moment, with the musicianship we had there, we weren't even a complete band yet. We were still trying to find a drummer and a full-time drummer and a full-time bass player. And even then, I was like, you know what? With the musicianship that's here and finding the right people, we can make something of this. But we don't want to be, it's tough when you're you're doing tribute bands or cover bands. You've got to make sure you market it correctly. I didn't want to be a cover band. I wanted to be a tribute band. I wanted to switch to different outfit ideas. I believe it was Nicky Starr's idea on that. And I love that idea. Switch up the outfits. I was all for it. And I was like, you know what? If we market this correctly, I think we can do something great. Our first live, real show that we played was Bogarts. We opened up a show at Bogarts for a band called Superstar, phenomenal Black Sabbath tribute band, with Vinny Appice as a drummer.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yes. And little side note, we'll be fronting a show with 2 shows actually, June 4th and 5th with Vinny Appice's Black Sabbath Nights. So with the phenomenal Mike Carr, Vinny Appice on drums, and just the phenomenal crew that's around them. So just a little side thing to do on the side, just for fun. And maybe we'll make it a real party, if you will. T-Bone's always wanting to keep it busy and interesting, so to speak.
Well, yeah, you got to keep it busy.
But after doing that first show and the reactions we all got, I knew something was up. I knew something, especially, we could do something with it. So I think that was the quintessential moment where I was like, you know what? We got something rolling with it. Let's keep going, see what happens. Sure enough, first we can start getting our headlining shows pretty quickly. The money goes up. Phenomenal. First time we ever headlined Bogarts. We filled its capacity. First time.
Wow.
Phenomenal one of the bands and the marketing. We reached out to so many different people to make sure we got everyone in that building as we could. There was over 100 and some people that didn't make it into the building. That, even then, kept growing exponentially. And then the story continues.
Maybe they should make Bogarts a little bigger just to fit in more people. I mean, I will admit that place is very packed. Every time I go in there, I'm overwhelmed. I can't even move. So yeah, you guys always somehow sold out that entire place. It's fantastic.
It's always one of my favorite venues to play. I will say, I absolutely love it. Love my Cincinnati people down there.
Yeah, I consider Bogarts the whiskey of go-go of Ohio. That's how I see it.
I like that. That's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah. Now, with the band taking off so fast, and you performing at shows like JD Legends, Bogarts, which that's where I saw you guys. I saw you guys at JD Legends for the first time. That's when I was like, holy cow, these guys are amazing. I'm also
I love
kind of,
Haley.
and every time I see you come out with different clothing, especially Dee Snider stuff, I'm like, where did you get that?
Oh
But
goodness.
within the band that you've been singing a lot of songs, a lot of good songs, amazing classics. What's your favorite song to play? And is there one that you do want to play that you haven't played?
Favorite song we perform live? It's a tough question. It's a toss up between two. I always say Van Halen's Panama. I always say that because I get to do a jump at the beginning of that song and get to jump around and run around stage like a maniac. I believe we were playing Riverfront Live one time down in Cincinnati, and which probably not the best idea to do because I mean, to play the show, absolutely great idea. The idea I'm talking about is getting up on top of amps. Probably not the best idea because they have rollers on the bottom. I did not know that at the time.
I didn't know that either.
But you know what? T-Bone takes his own life into his hands sometimes. You know what I mean? But, I would say Panama. Close second is our Guns N' Roses medley. We do a medley of Sweet Child of Mine, Welcome to the Jungle, and Paradise City. I absolutely love that one. The energy, it's all there. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there a song that you guys haven't played yet that you would want to play?
Yes. Actually, there's a lot. Honestly, there's a lot of them. But
I believe it.
if I had to pick just one, right? My favorite song of all time. Yes, you can write this in stone. Favorite song of all time. Stairway to Heaven. I would love to play that.
I can totally see you like pulling that off really well.
I mean, we could do the theatrics. We could do the whole tribute to, especially that show down at, I believe it was Madison Square Garden. I believe that was the show where they have the movie Song Remains the Same.
Oh yes,
I would absolutely love to do that. That would be my favorite song to play.
Oh yeah.
It's my favorite song in general.
Well, you got to make it happen. You guys got to make it happen. Make it happen. Play more Led Zeppelin. Also, hey, a little shout out to the fans here. We got some people tuning in. Fran here popped up,
hey,
and
Fran.
she says Bogarts packed the fans in like sardines, if I'm saying that correctly.
Maybe not. I'm gonna go with sardines on that one.
Sardines. That's how you think. Emma says Bogarts is the best.
Hell yeah, girl. She knows what's up.
Bogarts is amazing. Emma always does. And we also got a little shout out WhatsApp to this guy called
WhatsApp. I had to be careful if my mint was gonna fall right out my mouth. I'd have been nasty. I'd be like, ew, T-Bone, that's disgusting. That's gross.
We also have Kyle. Kyle tuned in, and he said his first show was the Thompson House.
Ooh,
I've never been there actually.
Yes, we played. I was a very hairy Christmas, is what we marketed that as.
Oh,
that was a phenomenal show. We did it at the Thompson House, and it was our first time playing there. We headlined there. We weren't. I mean, going into like a new venue you never played, you want to, you stay pretty positive. Like, we can do pretty well here. We can, do the best we can. First time, we're like, let's see how it goes. We're down for it. I believe we got like 400 people in there. I'm trying to estimate it. We got the pictures online, but phenomenal crowd there. And that was, love that show. We built the little presents around the geysers, so it looked like presents were shooting out geyser fumes, so to speak, smoke. It was a fun time.
I had to go there. I actually never been there. To all the people that are tuning in, if you guys have any questions as well, feel free to mention them in the comments. I'll try to bring them up. But anyway, further ado, let's get more going on. Here's another question for me. You've seen, many crowds, and I think you sort of touched this as you were talking about the best songs. Which crowd do you think is the wildest?
You really put me on the spot with this one. All right. So I'm going to give you a good politician answer, if you will. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a couple of them. Honestly, it's hard to narrow it down to just one. I'll give you like 3 or 4. Bogart, Cincinnati. Those are some party animals down there, let me tell you. Oh, my goodness. It's always fun. The roar back of the crowd going, love it. Absolutely love it. Another venue This one actually is small. So we played at this place called the Old National Center in Indianapolis, and it was in the basement of this building, but there was a phenomenal stage they had down there. Probably 400 or 500 people thrown into this venue, showed up for our show. We packed more like Bogarts, mind you. Pack more there. This might have been the loudest crowd. It was pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie. So Bogarts, you got some competition there. You got to beat the Old National Center. They got some phenomenal, loud people down there. Not to mention the sound's probably reverberating everywhere in the venue. But nonetheless, let's see. So there's two. Cleveland House of Blues. That one is always a loud one. Always one of our better ones. This one might be, if you want the term wildest. All right, I got one for you. If you want the term wildest, I'm going to say the Monroe Live in Michigan. It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh.
Monroe. I know I'm getting a lot of hate from Ohio State fans right now. Like, oh, you talked about Michigan. You know what? I love you all. It's cool. Oh, wait, Charlie. Anyway, I love you. This crowd. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, according to, I think I'm guessing this is what they're trying to say here to a few of the fans here. I think they're saying JD Legends Franklin.
Right on. I would say that's up there. They like to party up there. I love it. Yeah.
But what were we going to say? I'm sorry.
So the reason I say wildest, right, for that place, sure enough, it was our first time playing up in that venue. We were headlining. Didn't know what the ticket sales were like. We would keep up with them, but this time we were so busy with so many other things, other shows we were looking at and stuff. I didn't know what our ticket sales were and stuff and everything. Sure enough, they got over 1,000 people through the door. 1,000 people.
Oh, wow.
First time. I had no idea. This place completely packed. And if anybody ever wants to be like, yeah, all right, we got the pictures. I ain't lying. Look them up. That Arena Rock Show, Facebook page and Instagram. Please. Allergies. Anyways, at this place, 1,000 roaring people will do songs like Living on a Prayer. We gotta hold on to what we've got. And the crowd just sings, Living on a Prayer. They were screaming. They were roaring. Absolutely loved it. But you know what? We get that. Most venues. Not an ego trip right there. Just saying. That's what we get. Loud and proud. That's what we're all about.
Oh, yeah. In fact, well, I think each crowd, if each crowd's as loud and participates in, I consider that a crazy crowd.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. And, our bass player at the time, he's our lead guitarist now, Mr. Getty Rose. He went out on the stage, and all he did, he just saw how the crowd was just reacting to us. He goes up to the mic, he just goes, woo! Sure enough, that crowd goes, woo! I'm like, wow. He was like, all right, I didn't expect that. We want to get to the root of the cause as to why I think this might have been the roundest crowd. That was our first ever show where we had, and yes, I think I've brought this story up before, but it was the first show where we ever had bras and panties thrown up on the stage.
Oh, no way.
It's very interesting. Yes, we.
Oh man, I don't know what to say to that. How?
I was reluctant to pick them up, but you know what? Because I don't know Adam. I love that you're partying now. I appreciate that. I was gonna pick them up, put them on Nikki's guitar and stuff. Sure enough, he picks it up, puts it on Ryan's drum set.
Oh, nice.
Oh goodness.
Oh, that's
Lots
great.
of crazy stories, especially that one. Philadelphia, that's a wild crowd up there too. But
well,
even
let's see.
after stuff,
well,
we love them.
Well, let's see here. Russ Ward, I hope I said his name correctly. He says Mercury Balloon in Louisville. It's pretty crazy. Yes.
The Mercury Ballroom in Louisville, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. We played there just shortly before COVID and everything. Phenomenal crowd. Very loud. Once again, it's one of our first times at the venue. We played it. And the crowd, we did songs like I Remember You, and just, especially with a song like that, that's one of my songs that I love, like, singing.
Oh, yeah, you do a great job on that one.
Thank you. Sebastian Bach's one of my favorite vocalists.
Oh, yeah.
with that, just hearing the crowd just sing right back to you, singing, "I remember you." Look, love it. It was just,
It's like, well, you guys take it away. Take it away. Fran here also is asking a request. She's asking if you would play Hysteria.
I can see it as a possibility in the future. I can see it. It would work with what we're doing. Stereo when you're near. I gotta know tonight. If you're alone tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stop this feeling. Love it. Love that song.
And also, Wesley here has actually asked, did Nikki Starr have a special fan at the Mercury?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know why he likes me too? No. We can't go into too much detail, but we had a fan that was he was rather interesting. He was an interesting fellow. He was overly excited about the show. Let's leave it at that. He was overly excited and yeah, put off some weird vibes. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, appreciate you coming out to the show, though. I mean, hey, come on by anytime.
Support. Oh man, yeah, a lot of.
Say it anyway. Or maybe I will.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry I put you on the spot on which is the wildest crowd. There's a lot of wild crowds out there, and like I said before, if you participate, I consider that a wild crowd. Absolutely. Even the most tame crowds can be wild. You just don't know when they're gonna pop. So I have told you several times throughout the times I've known you that you kind of remind me of Phil Lewis from LA Guns. A little shout out to them. Great band.
Love that band. We actually saw them together.
Yes, we did. And holy cow, that guy still sounds like he did back in the 80s.
Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, guy's not lost it. And Tracy Guns, holy cow, great guitar player.
It's incredible.
Then, of course, we met one of the members of the band, Ace Van Bong, who happens to play for Faster Pussycat. Nice guy, great guitar player. He was amazing. But will you ever play any LA Guns?
I could definitely see it happening. That fits in our genre. We would definitely do a song like Ballad of Jane.
I can see that.
Ballad of Jane would be a good ballad, of course, to play live. One of my favorite, two of my favorite LA Guns songs that were in that era. Oh, my mind's blanking on the one. But anyways, Rip and Tear.
Oh yeah, it's a good song. Great song.
Didn't they finish with that one when we saw them? I think they finished with that one.
I think so. It's been a while, but then good song.
It's like midnight and I'm ready to move. Love it.
Like I said, you had the right vocal range for that band, and I'm thinking like, gosh, he could if it really happened, you could be like the next singer of LA Guns if that happened.
Thank you. I appreciate that. What is that one song? Oh, that one song that I think would go over very well. I can visualize the music video right now. List off a couple of them for me.
Well, let's see. You already said Ballad of Jane's. There's also Never Enough. Kyle mentioned that.
That's the one.
That's a good one. Never Enough. That's a good song.
That would be fun. It's never enough just to hold you.
It's never enough
just to please you. Ooh, baby, bringing me down. Something like that. Something like that.
I think you guys would be phenomenal if you did an entire like LA Guns show.
That'd be fun.
And maybe do something that Phil Lewis did when we went to go see him when he popped out of nowhere wearing that mask.
Oh, that was scary.
Weird. Yeah, I did not expect that. I was like, okay, thanks, guys.
I feel like the sound is evolving to an extent. Like when they played that song, "The Devil You Know."
New song of theirs.
It's great. It's got some Black Sabbath vibes. I will say.
Love it. Yeah, I can hear that.
I'm all about that. I love some Black Sabbath.
I think my most favorite new song from LA Guns is probably "Speed," and the reason why I like that song is just how they reference Deep Purple. The part where he says, "Nobody's gonna take my car." I didn't like think about it at first, but then when I realized like, oh, that's a Deep Purple reference. I get it.
Highway Star.
Well, now Exactly. That was really good. Well, okay, so here's a good friend of mine here. Boy, I don't know if you want to go into too much detail what he's asking here, but he wants to know when the next show is.
So the next official one that we have announced, because we can't give away too much details, but you know what? I can give some hints. One that is officially announced. Oh, trying to remember the bloody date for it. We've got so many dates, getting confused and everything. Late May, we've got a show at Hartford City, Indiana. If anybody knows the exact date on that, please put it in the comments because my mind is slipping on it right now. But Hartford City, Indiana. I believe it's City of Hartford. City of Hartford. We got a show down there. It's going to be an exciting time. First time playing there, so we're excited to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then I would keep your calendar dates open for some other stuff later in May. I'm not going to go into detail beyond that, but I would keep your calendar dates open. If you will, party it up on the weekend.
John also mentioned, do you do any Cinderella? Which, yes, you do.
Yes, we did Nobody's Fool. We used to do, bloody hell. It's another one of the big hits. We did it like 2 or 3 shows. We love it, but we wanted to kind of alter our show in a different way. We could do it again. Is some of their biggest hits. I mean, you've got Nobody's Fool. We did that.
There's Gypsy Road.
Gypsy Road. It wasn't that one, but I love that. Gypsy Road.
Don't know what you got.
It's Heartbreak Station. It's one of the ones that was on Night Songs. One of those. My mind's slipping on it.
Night Songs. I can't think of it at the moment, but yeah. John said Night Songs. Fran here also mentioned that it's May 22nd of Saturday.
Thank you, Fran. I appreciate you. You rock as always. Yeah. She's awesome. I mean, she's a phenomenal fan. I will say she's phenomenal. Very supportive. Always posts stuff about us all the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I will admit, Fran's always on the ball with these things. Like that's one reason why we have her. Thank you, Fran. And then, of course, William. He mentioned something about a classic rock experience last night. You guys have to do a show with them.
I didn't see you there last night. I actually was there. I would have said hi if I saw you. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, I showed up a little later. I didn't show up on time, but yeah, they're a phenomenal band of guys. Let's see, you've got Mike Oakley, lead guitars, rhythm guitar, Greg St. Charles. I mean, great guys, great business partners, so to speak. They work together very well. I mean, phenomenal band. Great guys. Who knows? Maybe we could work out a show maybe in the future. Who knows?
Well, speaking of the future, Skynet, Terminator. No, I'm just kidding. Have you guys ever considered writing original songs together?
Yes, we have. We have considered this. I actually do write some stuff. It's always been a passion of mine to write music and play it live because a documentary I watched several years back. I say several, it's probably like a few years back. It's about the 80s and basically the LA Strip and everything. And Bret Michaels was talking about that feeling when somebody's actually singing the words to your song back to you. And it was the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn. That feeling, he said, there's no other comparable feeling on earth. So I want that. I do. I love that people sing the stuff we play live. I feel it's wonderful. I absolutely love it. I do want to write some originals too. So it definitely could be done. We've contemplated things like maybe doing like an original CD, so to speak, maybe an album. We've contemplated things like that. But yeah, who knows? We could possibly throw something in the mix. I am all for it. And I've talked it over with the guys before, and they're about it too. It's just all about timing and how people line up the whole shebang.
Well, fair to surprise us. Because when we're at a show and we hear something different that may sound like an 80s tune or 90s or 70s, but maybe something you won't recognize, it's probably something they wrote.
Exactly. Yes. And for that Arena Rock show, if we were writing a song that wasn't original, we would write something that would kind of fit that vibe of the 80s metal, which is personally how I would like to write music in general. That's kind of how some of the thinking when I'm writing stuff. I think of those loud screams that we don't hear anymore. Those loud screams, those anthemic guitar solos. That's missing heavily in today's music. I will say.
Mm-hmm.
I love a lot of today's music. Not hating on it. I will say that a thing that is missing heavily is you've got some amazing riffs, cool, like very catchy riffs, but you don't have any leads. The solos playing over them.
Mm-hmm.
That's very anthemic. Like, just think of iconic songs like "Sweet Child of Mine." The lead, everyone can sing along to that, and it's a guitar riff, guitar solo, or guitar line, so to speak. If I'm being technical here, but that's just some of my 2 cents, maybe 3 cents, maybe 5. I don't know on music.
Give it $5. I give it $500. Yes. William here actually did agree with you here. He said, yes, drop an album.
Let's get it. I don't know. Maybe if we got some heavy support, a bunch of fans asking for it. Who knows? Maybe we could throw something together. Tell you what, if everyone, I'm not going to guarantee anything. I can't guarantee anything, especially with the world we're living in, especially with COVID and everything. But if you really want to hear us produce some original stuff, let us know on our That Arena Rock Show Army page. Like, put posts out there, get some comments. We'll treat it like a petition or something. Like, yo, who wants to have That Arena Rock Show write some new material? Who knows? I'd be curious to see what the feedback is. I'm all for it.
Hey, could happen. I'm just saying. And also, speaking of which, there is a band that I think you should do. They're an 80s band. I mean, they didn't come out in the 80s, but it's a band called Crazy Licks. You definitely should do some songs from them.
I've heard of them, and I know I've listened to them. I can't think of a song at the moment, but Crazy Licks. You've sent me videos of them before.
I have.
Yeah.
One was Hell Raising Women.
All right. We all love some Hell Raising Women.
Yeah. I would say so.
Well, let's see. Hell, but hey, we love them.
Yeah. Now, throughout you guys always put on amazing shows. I mean, I've seen mainly almost all of your shows, especially in Riverfront. That's where I filmed you guys. Stressful day of my life because one of my cameras broke. But hey, it came out all right. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. But throughout that show and all the shows in general, you always dance around. You guys have this certain choreography, just like in a lot of the old videos of the 80s have. How long did it take you guys, especially you, to imitate guys like David Lee Roth and all those type of bands? Like, how did you do all that?
So, as much as I have an ego, I won't be that guy and say, oh, it all came naturally to me. No. What I will say is I've worked with like acting and stuff. Actually, before I got into music, I contemplated seeing if I could get into like movies and TV and television and all that. I always enjoyed that stuff, so I always felt inclined to want to do that stuff. And I always, for years, especially since I was 15, when I discovered YouTube.
YouTube.
Right. When I discovered YouTube, I watched the music videos nonstop from like the 1980s. Like, I loved it. I would watch like Whitesnake Still of the Night, trying to imitate the moves he does on stage, and then like, things he does with the mic stand. Like, I loved it. Van Halen, favorite band. David Lee Roth, I think, in my personal opinion, is the best frontman in rock and roll. Bold statement, I know, but you can't keep your eyes off him, man.
Oh yeah,
but
you can't.
In a non-weird way. I'm just saying, like, captivating to watch him like perform live, especially like in the 80s, more or less. But and whatever he lacked in certain vocals, which I thought he had pretty good vocals in all honesty, whatever he lacked in certain areas, he made up for it in the showmanship.
Right.
So I always wanted to be like a David Lee Roth, only I wanted to capitalize more on my singing as well. I wanted to have best of both worlds, and get the best of both worlds. I'm gonna give you that Sammy Hagar, that Helen lick.
Oh yeah.
But what's some Sammy Hagar years?
Sammy Hagar is a good vocalist, and David Lee Roth is the better entertainer. That's how I see it.
Yes. I'm biased, but I will say that. But I would always watch the music videos nonstop. But when we kind of developed this band and we put it together, I knew I was going to have to watch his music videos more and more. And I worked on them. I'd be like dancing around in my room, out in my living room, just kind of replicating the moves. But if you want to be a successful tribute man, so to speak, you need to not only just nail those moves, you need to understand that mindset. To an extent, you're never going to fully understand the mind of certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Axl Rose, I'm looking at you.
Uh-oh.
No, he's phenomenal. One of my favorite frontmen as well. Because he's just crazy. I love it. Crazy on stage. Maybe crazy outside, but he's awesome.
He crazy.
Right. You've got to watch live interviews. I mean, from the 1980s. You got to watch interviews. You got to watch documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
You need to understand their mannerisms. If you watch Axl Rose and you watch him live versus when you watch him in an interview, he's going to be completely different. In an interview, he'll be like laid back, like, yo, we were just talking about, so and so.
That's so true.
We thought it was cool. And then on stage, he's like, do you know where you are? I'm screaming it. I know I'm loud. Get over it, people. Hey! Love you. But you gotta. I mean, I would watch interviews of like Kiss when they were on Oprah, like just to understand them better.
Oh yeah,
just small things like that. So you got to really do your homework, and you can't just take it for granted. You can't only do one or two moves. You need to do 90% of them, if not all.
Yeah, it's kind of a good example of that. It's like the guy from the Mark Wahlberg from the movie Rockstar. He watched every interview, every single thing that the lead singer of Steel Dragon did, and that's what made him become like a spectacular, I guess you could say, imitator of the band, but he becomes the lead singer of the band soon. But again, yes, you got to do the homework. And yes, great movie. And William here, one of the fans, has said that he has an album for you. He's got an album for you guys when you write your own stuff. It's called Turn It Up to 11.
Okay.
That's not a bad name, actually. I kind of like that.
That's actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I like that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, we got a name for the album like that.
On that right now, patents, so to speak, whatever you want. He's like, I want it right now, in writing. I came up with a name. I was playing. But
and also, John said that you sound really perfect when you sing. So, heck yeah.
Oh, thank you, John. You rock. You're the real MVPs. We're not the MVPs of the show. Let me tell you. If it wasn't for the fans, and this goes without saying, if it wasn't for the fans, what's the use? What's the use of I personally, I love and appreciate my art, but you all are the reason we do what we do. We love that energy. So the more people and the more friends, loved ones you bring out to the show, and the bigger the party. That's what it's all about. Excuse me, at the voice. Correct. Correct. There we are.
He's fine. It's back in tune. Turn his vocals up. Turn them up.
Turn it up.
See, that's another one. You actually did do autograph, and you turned up the radio. You should do more autograph.
Yes, this was a very fun song. I love doing that song.
You guys surprised me when I heard it. I was like, oh, that's autograph. And then, of course, it was funny. You guys played an Alice Cooper song, School's Out. And a few fans behind me cracked me up so hard because they literally shout out, "Girls' School, Brittany Fox." And I turn around like, this is Alice Cooper.
It's not.
But good band. Thank you.
Another good thing we could do.
Well, this kind of leads up to this other question. Now, these two questions sort of go hand in hand. If you guys had a choice, which big band would you want to open for?
Oh, you really put us on the spot for that. All right. So, I want to throw a question back at you a little bit just so we get some clarification. We're talking about bands with the current active lineup, or are we talking about bands from the 1980s lineup, so to speak, or just what the current lineup is now?
Mainly what the current lineup is.
I respect that. All right. So, based upon current lineups, and this one was for the band that we would want to open up for, correct?
Yep.
I would say Guns N' Roses. That's what I would say. That would be fun. I think it could work. We couldn't do our Guns N' Roses stuff, but I'd be open for. I mean, it'd be so much fun. I think that could be very phenomenal. Whether it ever would happen or not, But
I can see you guys really partying out with Slash and Axl Rose there. Just at the party, like, and Axl will be all like taking you up there. Like, come on, dude, let's go. I can see it. I can see it happening for some reason.
I think it'd work out right. I think so.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. Now, of course, with the second question going hand in hand with this question, which big band would you want to open for you guys?
Heavens, oh goodness. That is a tough one. All right, so a big band that would fit for that genre. I'm trying to also think realistically here too. Some of the bands would be like, no, never. Which I understand. I get it. You've worked for that. Appreciate it. You deserve it. If I could think of a dream band that would open for us, it probably would never happen. But Journey.
Journey. Wow. Okay.
I don't think it would happen. They're too big. But
I wasn't actually expecting to say Journey. Why Journey?
My mind's kind of tossing between Journey and another band right now. Actually, we'll go with I'll give you two bands.
Okay.
I'm a little complicated, so I'll give you two of them. Journey, for one reason, they don't have Steve Perry, but the singer they have is absolutely phenomenal, and I will not take that away from them. I think you've got that high energy, happy, feel good music with them, and then we've got a lot of that, and then we got some harder rock that could help finish out the night. Of course, I'm just trying to think the most realistic possible. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But if I was just going completely off the wall in hopes of this happening, it would be like Motley Crue.
Oh, yes, Motley. Thank you for saying that.
It would be an honor.
That would be awesome. Yes. Now, according to some fans here, this guy Williams said open for Poison.
Yes, especially even if it's like Poison and Bret Michaels alone, like, it'd be phenomenal. Phenomenal music. It works perfectly.
Bret Michaels is a cool guy.
He really is. He's a very nice man. Very nice man. Very caring to his fans. Very good person.
Oh yeah. In fact, I was actually this close to meeting him, but he got away from me. But then I saw Eric Birmingham of Cinderella, and I was like, "Yo, Eric!"
Yo, Eric! I was there that night. I saw that show. I was like, up at JD Legends.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
And of course, John here says Winger, another good band, good live band, by the way. Seen them twice.
Kip Winger. I saw him do an acoustic act, Kip Winger, before.
I believe
Steve Earle?
That was during Great White.
Oh, that's right, Great White. Yeah, it was up at JD Legends as well. So he opened up for Jack Russell's Great White.
Yep.
Just to put the distinction out there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good idea to put on that. But yeah, in fact, actually, I met the band Winger and I opened a beer for Red Beach. It was funny.
Awesome.
Never thought I'd see that. Fran also says you're crazy.
Guilty. Yeah.
And apparently, Mike Carr here, he said he's been practicing to replace Axl Rose for 30 years. Dedication.
Keep working.
Keep on going. It'll happen.
Mike Carr. Crazy, phenomenal artist. He's awesome. I love the guy. Great guy. Phenomenal artist. Has this thing. Well, I'm actually playing with him in Vinny Appice's Sabbath nights, June 4th and 5th. Me and him are going to be playing that night. He also goes by Omeb, the one-man electrical band. Phenomenal musician. If you get a chance, check out his YouTube page, his Facebook. But phenomenal artist. We appreciate you, Mike. You rock.
Yeah, I need to talk to him. He's a cool guy. I've seen him a few times. Seen him with his STP band, and of course with his solo band twice. Open up for Dokken and Warrant. The guy's a talented guy. Yeah, definitely.
We played with them on some shows before, and goodness, it was just always a phenomenal time. They bring so much good energy. I mean, phenomenal artist. He does this thing called the Cincinnati Vampires, which I don't know if they're in the process of changing it up or whatnot, but you know what? Because I know they would bring on multiple different artists. Mike, you'll have to let me know in the comments. But phenomenal the work you do there, bringing on multiple artists and collaborations. We look up to you. You rock.
Well, this kind of leads into our last big question. It's a question that I always ask to many musicians, whether local or international. What advice would you give to a rock band or a musician in general?
All right. I'm going to give you two pieces of information. One, don't let it get to your head. The moment you let it get to you, I want, if you're playing in a band, you got to have an ego or some kind of charisma to an extent. To an extent, I tell you. But you need to realize you are a person just like everyone else. You are a person, and you need to be caring and loving, and you need to be supporting of your fans. You need to put on a good show. You need to build a community, so to speak. Work on building that community and actually being personable. There's too many artists out there that play a show and then they're not personable with their fans at all. And I absolutely despise that. It's distasteful. I mean, you do what you got to do. I understand if you don't want to have contact that much with fans, but you can at least go out, greet them, sign a couple autographs, do something. Show some appreciation for the people who paid their hard-earned dollars to come out to your show. So that's one thing. The second, I'm trying to think how to word this, so to speak. Especially if you're in the tribute band or the cover band business, there are so many people out there that may not sound as good, or they may not look as good as you. Who knows? I'm not saying we're better than anybody else. That's not what I'm saying here. You got to realize there's so many other people competing for that same type of deal you're doing. You need to think about how you're going to market it, how you're going to market your band, how you're going to look. You got to be on the same page with everybody. You got to think of how you organize your show. You got to think of how you structure your set list and how you want to produce a show. Most everything you do, visual. Of course, you're performing the songs on stage, but if you want something that the fans are going to be remembering, you got to have some visuals, and you got to be entertaining. If you're just standing there, so to speak, playing your songs, and I'm not hating on people who do that, definitely not. If you're just standing there and not moving around, the band that's going to be moving around and jumping around and having a good time is going to be more entertaining. That's just how it is. I'm not being, disrespectful or distasteful to anybody else, because there's phenomenal bands in the business for certain music where you don't have to do that. But you need to think of how you're going to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. Focus on your musician work just as well.
I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, that's good advice. Thank you for that. Also, Emma here, she cracks me up. If crew ever opens for you, you better make sure I meet 6.
I gotta make sure I meet them. Like, come on, now. People like to show up for like the last minute to go get on stage, and I'm like, "Hey, Tommy," or I mean, no, Nikki. I get Tommy Lee. Yeah, I mean, hey, and he just like walks and never looks back in my direction. I'd be sad.
I'd be like, "Oh." It'd be kind of funny if he did turn around, like, "Hey, what's up?" "Oh, Nikki." I mean,
see if I can put in a word for you. I'll see if I can do that. If it ever happens, that'd be sweet.
Well, I definitely appreciate you being on here to talk and get to know you more in the band. It's been really fun. I mean, I love your personality. I think you're a talented guy. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh yes, thank you. But and also thank you to the fans for tuning in. It's been great to have you guys say some cool comments here. I laughed a few of them. I know I couldn't get to every single one of them. Wish I could, but it's all through time. But stay tuned. Next week I'm going to try to get another recording podcast going on. I might talk about Cinderella or Poison, maybe. Likely. Don't know yet, but I'm still thinking. But I'm also going to try to get another member of the Arena Rock Show on here. I will not tell you who. It's going to be a surprise. T-Bone might know, but
maybe
you can't nag him on it.
I will deny everything.
Yes, deny it. And then you find out, then they find it's like, you knew. Yes, I knew. I never knew. But yeah, it's been such a great honor to have you on here. I appreciate you and everything. And I hope you guys keep on becoming successful here in Ohio and, of course, throughout the entire the entire world, really. I can't wait for you guys to somehow get out into the European nations. That'd be great.
That'd be a blast. We're all for it. They'll have us. We're there.
Oh, yeah. Well, Nikki. Wait, Fran here says Nikki Star. No, not Nikki Star.
Nikki. Oh, the nerve to compare me to that imbecile.
It's funny. When I interviewed you guys, I was editing up that entire thing. When he was trying to say his name, I literally hear you in the background just hit something, and I hear this imbecile. And I'm like, what the heck? Oh, it's T-Bone. Anyway, well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, T-Bone, for coming on here. Everybody, tune in next week. And as always, take care and keep rocking.
Keep rocking. Yeah.